Good morning, everyone. Hey, I hope you're well everywhere this message is reaching you. I just had a quick, um, quick thought that I wanted to share. A lot of you people, my friends, family, you've been seeing me just plaster the internet, Facebook, and all that with charitable causes and scriptures and all that kind of stuff, and you may be wondering, Sam, what the heck is going on with you, man? Like, why all of a sudden this huge push towards um, all this like godly stuff and charitable things and all that? And I guess I wanted to just kind of put a little video out there explaining a little bit of my thoughts. So a few short years ago, um, my wife and I were introduced to this guy, and he was a pastor, he was a pastor in a region in Kenya, which is just top end of Kenya, in a semi-arid area, place known as Garissa. And he says that he was told by God to leave his cushy job in the post office as one of the officers there, and his salary, and to become a pastor. And not only to become a pastor, but to become a pastor in that region. Um, and he's a Christian, and the region is predominantly populated by Muslim believers. And further than that, there's incredible poverty around that region. And so he dropped everything, and he, along with a few other people that cared about his cause and respected the vision he was given, they helped him build a church. And then, true to the nature that he's been given, true to his heart, this guy started just feeding the local kids. Anyone who really knows me knows that I'm hugely passionate about children and youth. So anybody who aspires to help them out, definitely good in my books. And just so happens that I've also been hugely interested in running like a home for orphans, or just a kids place where kids can be kids. And so this is what in a very real way, this guy was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And so instead of like starting a whole new organization by myself, I realized that we could actually join up with him and continue carrying forward what visions that God gives both of us. And so I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't I wasn't supposed to own my own entity kind of that way, but it's more like I'm supposed to come along people who are already doing it, establishing, still in the grassroots, just on the foundation. But it's important to be involved in something to do with a foundation, because then what pillars are built on it. And if the foundation is garbage for any building, well, it's useless, because the foundation needs to be stable and needs to be able to hold the entire building in no matter what the conditions are. And so I noticed he's building a very stable foundation. Didn't have much. The only kind of like little donations and supports he would get from friends and family, he would just put it into feeding the homeless there, and the kids, very impoverished families. And sometimes he would have to turn them away because it doesn't have enough, and then he had to make the feeding program, not on a regular schedule, because otherwise it would just be overwhelming. There'll be too much need, there'll be too many kids, and you can't feed all of them, and then you have to send them home, which is Even just thinking about it is tough. Anyway, we built up a friendship with this guy, David Matolo, and then we had a chance, my wife and I, to really go and see what's going on in the ground, like watch what the Frontier Faith Foundation is doing from like the bottom. Like, what is it that they're actually working on? What are they accomplishing? And other than just taking some donations, getting food, and feeding the kids around the neighborhood, there really wasn't much, because there's not much that they could do, without support, without cash. Again, they're already in a really poor place. Not much you can do. And I got to realize just where this man's heart lies. I got to talk to him. I got to really listen to his heart, and I was so impressed, and I felt horrible that he feels that he has to carry this load, just him, his wife, and a couple handful of donors. So my wife and I definitely got involved, built a website, frontierfaithfoundation.org, and that's the website you see me plastering all the time. And we got a chance to feed the kids. We got a chance to walk around the neighborhood, see the sewage, see the mud huts. Some of the houses were lucky enough to have solar panels, so they had a little bit of electricity. But other than that, not much. We went to one neighborhood, and the kids there had never seen a white person before, so some jumped back. Some little kids went behind their older siblings crying, and there was one gentleman that approached us and was super angry. He was talking to us really angrily, and he was accusing us of all sorts of stuff, coming to steal their kids and to eat them and sell them. Like, it's an interesting neighborhood. And then the good pastor took us to where he wants to build his house, and it's right in the center of this slum, like right in the center of it. I don't know, does that feel like something that you would do? Do you feel called to live everything that is comfortable with yourself, to go into the most uncomfortable and volatile and potentially dangerous, actually dangerous, because there's all sorts of shootings and religious unrest and all that kind of stuff that goes on around? Would you move? Would you go there? Would you build your house right in the slums? If we're to be honest, most of us would not. And yeah, so for me, helping this cause, especially knowing what I know, seeing what I've seen, watching when the drought season comes around and there's just nothing for all the families there. And then right now, there's like ridiculous amounts of floods. There's a river that goes by there, even though there's not much rain that comes into this region, but upriver there's a whole bunch of rain that comes, and so it comes flooding. The entire place gets covered. That's the little video I sent. That's real time. It was taken that day. I've been in contact with the pastor, just kind of getting a lowdown on what's going on. And then we're in the middle of a pandemic, so everything is on lockdown. Business is not as usual. The only people helping out right now are the Red Cross that brought tents. There's no food. The government is overwhelmed resources. So yeah, I mean, I can't say that organizations have always been good stewards, and I can't vouch for really any of them. I mean, if you're the kind of person who's led to support World Vision, Christian Children's Fund, or Christ for All Nations, or Blind Mission. All this. I'm not gonna tell you to stop. You cannot. Whatever you're led to do, and it's definitely a calling. Then you do it. You gotta be faithful with that. What I want to say is, I want to follow a piece of scripture that is in Mathew 23. If you get a moment, you should check it out. And basically, I don't want to just sit here comfortably. I mean, we all have our issues, we all have our needs, but I think we can all spare, even just by living here, we can all spare like $5, a coffee a month, be like a monthly supporter. You can spare like $20, that's like an hourly wage, like if you work 40 hours a week, that's 160 a month. You take that 1 hour, $20, you put it into like a monthly donation. I mean, that's it. It's never really been about the amount. It's really about the heart condition. It's about the heart condition. None of us takes all the resources and treasures that we mount up over here with us when we go. It's just us. And if you're led to give $100 a month, or one time, 1,000, 10,000, a million, whatever, it's not really the amount that matters. It's the heart condition. I don't think God is interested in like, this person ought to be giving or is giving. It's not about the sacrifices. I don't think so. I think it's more like where your heart is, what your convictions are, what you're led to do, inside of you. If you decide, $5 is really the best I could do, and you're doing it in a good intention, then that might be even better than somebody who gives $1 billion and it's like they're giving it so then they can have shares, or they can have tax redemption, or any of that. Anyway, just a little rant here, little heads up. So when you see me giving little updates, doing a little shout out to FFF, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm just trying to create a little awareness. I'm trying to, maybe even love these kids more than I love myself, because I can't imagine the kind of life that they live. And if you want to help out, please go to frontierfaithfoundation.org, frontierfaithfoundation.org. At the moment the PayPal is down, but that's been fixed. So actually, if you just message me, give me a quick message, I can direct you on how to do it personally. So then maybe we're even skipping all the cut that organizations take in order to make sure that 100% of your donations, and I mean 100%, goes to exactly where it's supposed to go, feeding these kids, creating a self-sustaining system. At the moment we're currently just purchasing. We got a nice donation, so we're gonna purchase an incubator that can hold about 150 eggs, which means we can have, in about 21 days I think is the incubating period of chicken, and then have a whole bunch of chicken, and then a whole bunch of eggs, and then a whole bunch of roosters, and you can sell this, and then you can create a source of income, and then the kids can have a regular mealtime and meal kind of schedule. Frontier Faith Foundation does several things in the grassroots. In there there's a tailoring program for the women. They've had to stop at the moment. just because of the economy and everything that's going on. But they'll go back to that. They train the women 6 months at a time, absolutely free, and then they hand them their own brand new sewing machine, no strings attached. Go, I mean, I don't know. We could all be doing more. So yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out. I love you guys very much. If you've reached this far into the video, then that means that you actually do care about the stuff I'm talking about. And I appreciate you, and I bless you, and I ask God to just watch over you and your loved ones. And yeah, we'll be in touch. May God bless you very much.